Today on the Man-Cade, the big question is, do you take your hard-earned money, buy an arcade one-up cabinet like the Street Fighter II cabinet behind me, gut it, replace most of the parts inside of it so it can play everything? The short answer is yes! Yes! Yeah, absolutely you do. And the long answer is this video. Before we get into the guts of this video, run, don't walk to the nearest Kijiji ad, Walmart, GameStop, Facebook Marketplace, wherever, and look for a Street Fighter II arcade one-up cabinet. The Street Fighter II cabinet is the best choice for modding as it features 6 buttons for each player, more than enough for any arcade game. And you won't have to add any buttons to the control deck if you don't want to. If you are planning to use a RetroPie and emulation station on a Raspberry Pi 3, 3B Plus, or 4, you're going to need to add 2 to 3 buttons, but I placed them on the front J panel. That is the thin panel underneath the control deck. It's super easy to do if you have a drill and know how to use it, and a 1 1/8 Forstner bit, so you can actually drill the hole for the arcade buttons you're going to add. If you are planning on using other emulators like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, etc., I would highly recommend just using a USB controller like PS3 or Xbox 360, etc. That'll make it much easier because of the trigger buttons. Anyway, we're screwing around here. You should be out there buying that Street Fighter II cabinet. Go! I'll be right here when you get back. Without further ado, here are the top 5 reasons to mod that Street Fighter arcade one-up cabinet I just convinced you to buy with a Raspberry Pi running RetroPie or a PC running MAME. Reason number 5, replace the stock hardware with better quality. The arcade one-up cabinets are not known for their quality components, nor even the proper components. I mean, one speaker, really? Ball tops instead of bat tops on a fighting game? Really? You are not getting arcade quality buttons and joysticks in these cabs. That being said, you can spend as much or as little as you want upgrading the buttons and the joysticks, speakers, and hey, even upgrade the size and quality of the stock 17-inch LCD screen with something bigger and better, and with way better viewing angles. When I did my mod to my Street Fighter cab, I went with a very slight upgrade in terms of quality, and some might argue it was a step sideways because I purchased the EG Starts buttons and joysticks on Amazon. Reason number 4, difficulty settings, Dipswitches, and configurations. Your arcade one-up cabinets are running official ROMs, but even though they are official, you're not getting the same experience as you would if you owned the actual real cabinet. And the reason is Dipswitches. With MAME, Dipswitches and more are only a tab button press away. Dipswitches on machines were physical switches that allowed you to change the game. You could set it to free play, increase or decrease the difficulty, the number of lives, the point amounts for one-ups, etc. That's why when you would play games in various arcades throughout your life, sometimes they seemed easy, sometimes they seemed hard, sometimes it seemed like you were getting less players. So it was all set, and because of these Dipswitches that the arcade owners had access to. In MAME, you also have access to button configurations so that you can set each game to the particular button configuration that you prefer. It's extremely simple to do, and it's a game changer, and you do not have these settings or abilities on an arcade one-up cabinet. Reason number 3, cheat codes. Yeah, you heard me right. Cheat codes, they're back. Thanks to the many fine people who've contributed to MAME over the years, pressing tab also allows you access to delicious cheat codes you would have never had access to in a real arcade cabinet. Infinite lives, infinite health, level select, powerful weapons, jump higher. All of that and more can be accessed within MAME, so you can have fun with your games in any way that you see fit. You want to finally see you want to actually see the second level of Ghosts and Goblins? Now you can. Hey, and don't bother waiting 11 minutes to get the Galaga glitch to work. Just set it and forget it. Play the games the way you want to play them, and don't let anybody judge you. Reason number 2. Modding your cabinet is a fun, informative, and rewarding experience. It's easy to do, even if you have zero confidence. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, you'll destroy your cabinet and have nothing. All right, so I guess that's kind of bad. But that's when you call in a smarter person, dummy. Nah, I'm just teasing you. If I can do it, I know you can do it. Are you suggesting that I'm better and smarter than you? We both know that's not true. So you know what? Just stop with the false modesty. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? How about this? Well, technically, I guess you don't have to do that. Can you identify this tool? Can you use it? Can you order things off Amazon? Can you follow step-by-step instructions by someone smarter than both of us? Oh, congrats then. You can do this project. You don't even need to solder anything.
1.
And the number one reason to mod that Street Fighter II cabinet I convinced you to buy at the beginning of this video, play all the games. Arcade games, Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Genesis, Game Gear, Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Vectrex, Virtual Boy, Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, PlayStation, Dreamcast, Sega CD, etc. It's all there. I recently did a video showing the absolute must-have 150 arcade games you should cherry pick for your RetroPie, Recall Box, or your MAME setup. This is as good a time as any to show that link, fellas. I only use my Street Fighter II cabinet for arcade games, but that's just me because I have a Raspberry Pi running a Recall Box that has all the emulated systems which I just mentioned, and it's hooked up to the TV in the other room. For you, this modded arcade cabinet could have everything. Literally, the sky is the limit.